Hey, we've all been in situations where we desperately needed something to change. We needed a miracle or a breakthrough, or we're praying and believing God. And we've been in those seasons where it seems like nothing is happening. Well, I've been encouraging our congregation to really study through the life of Abraham. Abraham was called the father of faith. And there's a reason why he was called the father of faith, because his life and what he did, his how he lived his life, how he believed God, how he trusted God, and he was tested so many times. But because of his faith, he saw incredible breakthroughs in his life and the promises of God fulfilled. Well, I want to encourage you to think about this morning. Think about how faith refuses to settle. And right before the breakthrough, right before something happens in your life, a change, something is going to be fulfilled in your life, but it will be because of a result of your faith in God. In Mark chapter 5, we find, of course, there are so many different examples. But Mark chapter 5, we read about a woman who has, as the Bible calls it, an issue of blood. She had been suffering for 12 years. She spent everything she had. She had no more money. She saw all the doctors that she could see, spent all the money that she had, and the Bible says that she actually grew worse. Have you ever been in situations where you're trying to fix something, resolve something, and it seems to get worse? Well, it could be that God may be trying to stir faith in you to keep pressing. Most people in her situation would have settled for the pain, settled for what is happening. I've tried, you know what, this is the best that I can do. The diagnosis and the disappointment that came into her life should have just taken the wind out of her sails, but it didn't. She was determined. And Jesus is giving us this story, or sharing with us and showing us that this woman's determination to not settle was actually an act of faith. She refused to settle. But this was her faith in action. When she heard that Jesus was coming through her town, she said to herself, you know what? I know that I'm not supposed to be in a crowded place. I'm not supposed to be around people, but I'm willing to take the risk. And if I could just touch the hem of his garment, I know, she said in her heart, I know I can be whole. The crowd was pressing, and it was difficult to reach Jesus. But she kept pressing and pushing through the crowd until she touched Jesus' garment. Listen, here's an important lesson for us. The breakthrough often comes after the press. I don't know where you need to press this morning. I don't know where you need to keep trusting God, keep praying. But listen, the breakthrough comes oftentimes right after we are pushing our hardest. Faith doesn't quit when it gets crowded, and things in your life may try to suffocate you. The noise, the thoughts, the negative thoughts, the disappointment is going to try to crowd you out. But your faith doesn't quit when it gets crowded. Faith doesn't settle when the situation looks the same. It's the same old day, same old year. But listen, faith doesn't settle when it looks like the same pattern is developing in your life. Think about it. Faith keeps pressing until something changes. Jacob in the Bible is one example. Genesis 32 through 24 through 28. Man, just take some time to let this encourage you. Breakthrough comes to those who refuse to let go of God. And Jacob was wrestling all night long, and he refused that I'm not letting go until you bless me. And I'm telling you, breakthrough will come when you refuse to let go of God. I don't care how disappointing this gets. I don't care how dark it gets. I don't care how much lack it seems like we have. Listen, I am not letting go of God. The blind Bartimaeus, we got blind Bart in Mark chapter 10, verse 46. He refused to stay silent. In fact, when they told him to shut up, be quiet, the Bible says he even let out even more of a loud cry to the Lord. He refused. Listen, the louder the opposition, the louder the faith. I'm telling you, the louder the opposition is in your life, the louder of faith, the louder the faith needs to be in your life. Or the four friends who lowered the paralyzed man through the roof. They couldn't get in the house where Jesus was, so they decided to rip off the roof. And Jesus says, I can see their faith. The Bible says this specifically in Mark chapter 2, verses 1 through 12. When Jesus saw their faith looked like ripping the roof off and lowering the man in so Jesus could heal him. Or the persistent widow. that Jesus shares the story in Luke chapter 18. She refused to stop asking until the judge finally granted her request. She wore the guy out by keep asking, she kept requesting. She kept saying, hey, I need justice here. Listen, breakthrough faith belongs to people who pray one more time. I'm going to tell you, keep praying one more time. You say, Pastor Shannon, man, I've been praying over this situation. I've been dealing with this for a couple of years. It doesn't look like my season's going to change. Listen, I'm telling you, pray one more time. Breakthrough faith belongs to those who pray one more time. Listen, don't settle for the struggle when God has promised a breakthrough. Keep pressing in faith. Breakthrough faith, it doesn't belong to the casual believer. Breakthrough faith belongs to those who are determined that God is going to move. Hey, don't settle. Have faith like Abraham.